Alright, you know how good your band is, and I'm sure your friends and local fans are telling you how great your band sounds, but hey, let's face it, unless someone of importance tells everyone how good you are and how great you sound, then it's all just ego boosting, and that's really not what's going to pay your bills. So who's talking about you other than the people in your inner circle? Do you have media people who've written about you, or do you have a collection of music reviews you can tap into when clubs want to know what other people think of you? Because if you don't, then this is an area you're going to need to get to work on quickly. If you're a young band, you might not have a lot of these yet, but there are some ways you can get your hands on some press pretty quickly. I'm going to assume at this point that you've already got, at the very least, a CD of some kind that's great and that you can send out to anyone who's willing to review your music. There are many different resources for you to get your music reviewed online and in your local newspapers, and the list is really far too long for me to go through, but I'm going to include some links in this section where you can submit your songs for review fairly easily when ready for this particular step. Now, there are two different methods for you to get someone to review your music. You can go the free route, which is cool, but there's never any guarantee that your music will be listened to or get reviewed. Not only that, sometimes it can take up to a full year before your CD is even touched. And again, no guarantee with free, but don't let that deter you. Get your promotional packages together and set out to contact the reviewers, and if they okay it, send them your stuff. You never know. I mean, you might get lucky and have your music reviewed in no time, and that's exactly what you're going after, and you need to get that all-important press that I'm talking about. And then there's the paid review direction that you can go as well. I mentioned briefly that you should reach out and get in touch with the reviewer before sending out your package, and this is an extremely important step in the process. Sending out your packages is going to cost you money, and a lot of bands are walking around with the mentality that the more packages they send out, the more press they're going to magically get. But no one ever told them that the music business is a lot like any other business, and that relationships are an extremely important element and are key to your success. And what I mean is that it's a lot easier to reach out and maybe get to know a reviewer before you just fire off your package haphazardly, hoping they'll take notice and give you a great review. If you're lucky, you'll end up in a pile in the corner of an office somewhere, but more than likely, you're going to end up in a garbage bin. Face it, these guys receive hundreds of packages every single day, and sometimes thousands from bands just like you, all hoping to get that piece of news that they can use to further their career. So how do you get pushed to the top of the pile? Well, first off, you got to do your homework and get to know about your music reviewers that you're sending your music to, and this is essential. If these music reviewers are willing to take time out of their lives and review your music for free, the least you can do is take some time to get to know what they're about and what kind of music they're into. They get so many packages of music that they just don't like. It's absolutely ridiculous. I used to do music reviews for free when I first started out helping out independent musicians, and it was insane how many half-ass packages were sent to me without cover letters of any kind or any kind of information about the band included. It was just a CD, and wow, great. I'd ask myself, what the heck do I do with this? And I can tell you, 95% of the time, in fact, probably closer to 99% of the time, the disc ended up in the garbage. There's just too little time in a day to go digging around looking to find out who you are and where you're from or what your band is about. You've got to make it easy for these people because they usually have full-time jobs and are doing these reviews in their spare time just for the love of music. And the more appreciation you show for what they do, the more willing they'll be to review your music. And not only that, how stupid are you going to look if he reviews Celt Fusion and you send him your boombastic hip-hop track? That's very uncool, right? So take the time to know who they are first and what they're looking for, and once you've done that, then send them an email and ask if it's okay to send your stuff. Unless they tell you right on their site that you can just fire it off to them, reach out first and let them know you're interested in sending your CD to them. This serves two purposes. One, it shows you've taken some time to actually find out how to get in touch with them. And two, if you've asked and they've said yes, you can assume that you can follow up with them in a couple of weeks to see if they've received your package. And this keeps you at the top of their mind and gets you started on the relationship stream with what could possibly be a future record label exec. Stranger things have happened, and well, you just never know in this music business, right? Now, my point is, do your due diligence and treat the media and the music lovers who can help you like you would treat your best friend. These people can help you get the push you need in the industry, and you're always going to need as much buzz and media push from as many different places as you can possibly get. I touched briefly on how you can go about getting reviews really fast if you needed to, and I also mentioned that sometimes the free review routes can take anywhere from a few months to a whole year just to get them. For some bands, this is okay, and for others, this just isn't going to cut it. You might not have any media at this point, and you want to beef up that package to be all it can be, so you can go the route of paying for your music review.